Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Reviewcade. It is I, Andrew, Lord of Bricks.
And the one-armed sexy observer, Nick, as this is Andrew's turn to play. So Andrew's playing Super Breakout. So just hit X to fire.
No, I know that, but I'm trying to see which of the...
Oh.
Because the stick is, like, crazy fast, right?
Can you use the D-pad?
But I can use the D-pad,
Yeah.
and it moves more reasonably, right?
Yeah.
So there's going to be a couple times where I'm like, do I want to use the stick?
Yeah.
Because, the stick is... I'm literally, like, nudging it ever so slightly with the stick, whereas I can press fully down in the traditional D-pad sense. So let's see how this goes.
Let's see how it goes. So why did you want to... Whoop, that's already... So why Super Breakout? What made you want to play
Oh,
Super
I
Breakout?
played a lot of this game when I was younger.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, the
Clearly.
paddle's a little small there. Yeah, it's one of those games where, like, when you first see the title, you're like, oh, wait, what kind of game is this? And then you see, oh, it's this type of a game, and...
Yeah, you can't use the stick.
No,
I tried the stick.
Trust
It's
me,
not. It's really bad.
I was practicing some Pong a couple days ago, and you can do the same thing where it's like the sticks move faster with the sticks, and then if you use the D-pad slower. Yeah, it takes a lot of skill to play with the sticks. Oh man, this is really interesting because I don't think I've ever really seen you. I've seen you play classic arcade games, but I don't think I've really seen you play like something like this. You know, I've seen you play like Simpsons and X-Men and Donkey Kong, but
Rampage.
never. Yeah. Oh God, man, when we play Rampage together, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
But no, like so. Going to the arcade as a kid, was there like a game that when you would go, or even now when you would go and you're like, I gotta play this. Like if you see that they have it, and you're like, I gotta play it, and you maybe spend a good generous amount of your quarters on that one game.
It was either Area 51 or Rampage.
Really?
Plain and simple. Those were my games. Those were the things that I liked playing the most.
Yeah.
I honestly played so much Rampage when I was a kid. Like I had all of the like Nintendo 64 ports.
Yeah.
At one point,
Mm-hmm.
I had the GameCube version. I loved playing Rampage. That was my game for a really long time. So I would spend a lot of God. It gets so fast. It's just like, oh yeah, this is a pleasant little trip down memory lane, and then. Rampage was my main thing. I do remember playing a lot of, obviously Pac-Man, that sort of thing. But most of the time I would go to an arcade, I would play air hockey. I would just like, I was a big fan of just playing air hockey or pool or darts if they were available. But Breakout was a big one. I still remember getting like Ultimate Breakout. It's the size of the bumper itself it's brick size.
Yeah.
Whereas in like Super Breakout,
you had the little
you had like a full sized. You had at least it was a decent sized paddle.
Well, not only that, but when you played like newer versions of the game, like they would drop, bonuses, if you will, or amplifiers where like your paddle would be longer, or you would have like triple balls and shooting.
Oh man, I love that shit.
Or,
you remember Elf Bowling?
Yes.
Oh my God, all those early Windows
like
games.
DOS, those early types of games.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. Dude, like back. Oh
Space
God.
Pinball, bro.
Space Pinball. Did you ever hear of a game? I don't know if you've played it. It was used to the first
So
computer,
bad at this now.
the second computer I had, my uncle gave to me, and it had a thing called, what was it? Like it was like Clown Shooter or something like that. Basically, it was like a carnival game, but it was like a 3D carnival game. This is like mid to late '90s, and the thing you had to do was, like when you go to the fair and you have like the little rifle games and you had like the targets that move across, they're ducks or they're just regular targets are moving like left to right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like that, but it was a 3D style game where you stood behind a counter with a gun and you shot clowns, like clown faces, targets, different types. And that was super fun. I can't remember the name of it. It was like Clown something, but there was that. I remember when I was in elementary school, word munchers and number munchers were the shit.
Or those educational games. Oh my god.
Yeah, so word munchers of course was like, words that begin with W, and you had to like take this little green guy, and it was basically Pac-Man, but educational in a sense, to where you moved across the board and you like munched on words or whatever that like displayed the top that you would need to grab.
I still remember going to the library to get those games.
Oh, geez.
To rent those games from the library. Computer games at the library.
Yeah, I don't remember ever doing that for computer games.
Maybe my library was just bomb as fuck.
Probably.
They knew. Because like there were educational games that you could literally take out, like you would a book.
I know
at my local library.
I know. Like the library that I used to go to a lot. 'Cause my mom was in college when I was a little kid. She went back to school, and so we go to the library, and they had computers where they did have games on them. They had like I think like Bernstein Bears educational games was on there. There was like a bunch of other ones. But then going back to school, I remember like Mondays we would have computer class, and a lot of it was like pick whatever game you want to play or whatever. But it was all it was edutainment. So
this is the farthest I've ever gotten in this so far.
So,
whoa! Okay, it touches the orange and it just takes it off. Good lord!
Wow. But another one I loved. Again, you had like Oregon Trail. You had Number Munchers, Super Munchers. Ooh, Double Balls.
Damn! I missed both of them.
Oh God! But if I had to have a favorite arcade game, it would be Galaga. Galaga was the one game where I would go to the arcade when they had it, and I would just play it. But then as arcades, as the years went on, and arcades kind of started having less and less of those classic games in there, I found myself playing a lot of pinball, specifically Jurassic Park pinball. And then also Addams Family too, because I loved pinball machines. Even to this day, I love pinball machines with animatronics. Where like Addams Family, thing pops out of a box and grabs the ball and stuff like that. I loved stuff like that. Same thing with Jurassic Park. You get it to a certain area, T-Rex comes down, takes the ball, and eats it. Like it was great. But when it came to other games as the years went on, it was a lot of Teenage Ninja Turtles, a lot of Simpsons, a lot of side-scrolling kind of beat-em-up games. And then Tekken 3 happened. And my dad, it was weird, my parents. So when I was a kid, my parents, at least my dad, stuck to like video game rules. Like, hey, what's a video game rated? Okay, it's rated T. Like I remember I wanted to play the Incredible Hulk game for my Sega, but I couldn't rent it because it was rated T, and I was like 9 at the time. And so my dad's like, he wouldn't let me play Mortal Kombat, he wouldn't let me play Hulk. But my mom, now mind you, my parents were divorced, and I had, video game systems at both houses. So my mom was like, I remember being like 11 years old, and the Dreamcast came out, like Mortal Kombat Gold came out. My mom's like, yeah, I'll buy you Mortal Kombat. Yeah, we'll buy you. I'll get you this. Yeah, you can rent this game or that game. She did not give a fuck, and it was just, it was like it was interesting between the two houses, just like playing games and stuff like that.
Well, Mom lets me kill guys on Mortal Kombat.
Mom lets me rip out the spines of my enemies, Dad. But it was crazy. So it was kind of like the inverse. So like where my dad was very kind of strict with video games, he was kind of loose a bit with movies. Whereas my mom, she would let me play whatever games I wanted, but when it came to like nude scenes or it came to certain music, like Eminem's the Marshall Mathers LP came out, I had to get the edited version, and also to the guy who, oh god, the person who how my mom found out about edited CDs. So my mom and I are at the CD store, and my mom and I want some shitty Marshall Mathers LP. It's parental advisory. She gives it to this guy, and this guy was like a teen, and it was just like, I don't know if he just wanted to fuck with me or what, but he was like told my mom, he goes, "Ooh, how old is young? You should be listening to this."
What a piece of
And
shit.
he's like, because it has a lot of swearing in it, and my mom made me buy the fucking edited versions. And ever since then, my mom told my dad, and it was just whenever I wanted to buy music up until like I was a teenager.
Things are getting intense. Oh my god!
Oh Jesus! I wonder if you're gonna ever break 100 because you're at 84.
If I could balance both of the balls. The thing that I don't like about this is that the coding makes it so that if I hit a ball and it hits one brick, no matter what, it is going to pass through the other bricks and come down. Whereas in like the in Super Breakout, it was the ball would bounce. Is this Super Breakout?
Yeah.
Okay. There is the follow up to this. There is another version of Breakout where the balls will actually hit multiple times if you what I could do.
Oh yeah, like it'll get caught up.
I could get it caught up and get it stuck up on top.
Yeah.
But not this time.
Yeah, in the newer, I know what you're saying. Like in the newer, it'll like get caught in air and just like pinball and knock out all
and
the bricks.
I could get to future levels, whereas like you see that it goes all the way up to the top.
Oh, yeah.
It'll kill one and it'll pass through all the fucking bricks.
Yep.
Rude game.
Yeah. It's. What was your highest score on any of the breakouts? What was your highest score? Do you remember?
I mean, on the computer version of this game, where it had like you could get laser beams and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It was level based, and I think I made it like the farthest I ever made it was like, I don't know, 16 was the highest level I ever made it to. I played that a lot. I still remember the day my dad came home with a Windows computer with Windows 95 on it with the Sonic CD.
Yes. Yeah.
And loading that up and thinking, "Oh my god, this is the future."
You want to know something? So I have I was looking up some games that I actually have in my repertoire, and Sonic CD is actually one of them.
I still remember, like there, boom! I could have gotten a bunch of bricks if this was a different Breakout, but no, this is the classic Breakout. We're gonna make it extra tough.
Well, get good.
Says the man who was playing Centipede.
Listen, that was a couple days ago, and times have changed. Smart ass.
I still have to say, by far and large, one of my favorite computer games.
Yes. Wow, okay, that was bullshit. I will say that was horseshit. Passed like 5 different bricks, not even hitting anything.
Monster Truck Rally.
Oh yeah.
You remember getting Gravedigger or that side-scrolling comic book art game?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. There was that one, but also speaking of monster trucks, do you remember Bigfoot for the NES?
No.
Oh, dude. So I had a Nintendo game for the NES called Bigfoot, and back in the 90s, for people who don't know, there was at the time, as Andrew said, Gravedigger is, the most popular right now, but back in the day,
it was Sonic and Gravedigger. Those were the mascots of the 90s.
No, Bigfoot was, man. Bigfoot was a huge one. It was the blue trucks that Bigfoot across had 2 mega flags on the side. Like that was the shit, like in the 80s and in the 90s was Bigfoot. Then Gravedigger, like what comes like that second generation of
I think
trucks.
Gravedigger if we're talking famous monster trucks, Gravedigger is the most famous like everybody knows who Gravedigger
I would say
is.
Gravedigger because Gravedigger has been used longer than a lot of the other trucks. Like Bigfoot, was like, you want to talk Bigfoot, like that's a blast from the past. But the Bigfoot game was a side scroller, and it was basically like you had monster truck races, and you got to choose, and you played as Bigfoot, and you did time trials and stuff like that. It was super fun, and that was like kind of my introduction to monster trucks. And I remember going to my first monster truck rally.
Oh.
I remember just seeing those things up close for the first time, and the one I went to, I made sure the one that I had my parents take me to was they had Truckzilla. And he would take the cars and like lay them on fire and like drop them and stuff like that. Oh, it was fun. And it was great about like going to those early monster truck rallies. Was I believe they probably still have like the quad. They would have like the quad races. They had the dirt bike races. Then the monster trucks came out, and Oh
I
man, was that a lot of fun. I remember Goldberg used to be one too. It used to be a truck too.
I went to, this was back when in Seattle, when the Tacoma Dome was still a thing.
Wow.
We went to a fucking monster truck rally. That's how you know I've been around for a little bit. It's like my first monster truck rally was at the Tacoma Dome.
I mean, that's like saying, if you live in Detroit and saying like, yeah, my first, football game or my first monster truck rally was at the Pontiac Silverdome.
Oh, God.
Like, or even in Seattle, like the Kingdome or something like that. Or, yeah, like just some old ass arenas that just aren't there anymore. Like I remember living in Minnesota and going to the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome to watch the Vikings. Like, Jesus, like, oh man, just the fascination with those like old arenas. That's the thing I found too, is just being a sports fan, is my love for just old arenas is like just seeing like old NFL footage or old NBA footage, like old arenas, just makes me happy.
The 90s was a wonderful time.
Oh yeah, because we were kids. We had no bills, no student loans, no nothing.
We had nothing going on at the time. The president was doing some fun things.
Yep.
That we had no idea.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My concern was more along the lines of, can I beat Hades in Hercules Checkers? And not whether or not my president is getting his dick flobbled.
Yeah, his little
his
jingle
jangles.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh man, yeah, I know. Back in the day, man, I was like trying to find ways to go home sick just to play Mario 64. Like like. Oh, I remember one time, like,
hoping that when you went to the Hollywood Video or the Blockbuster, that
they would have
that
what you
they
wanted.
that the game, ooh, I'm getting close on my score. I beat my score. God damn it!
Come on, one more. Yeah! 106. 109. Damn.
That's a good place to wrap.
Oh yeah, and while you're on top.
Woo! And on a high note. Well, folks, we will see you on the next episode of Reviewcade. Adios, bye-bye.
See ya.